Whether you're married or single or poly or ace, or hanging out with swingers back at your place, listen to us as we get no luck on Tinder and Bumble and plenty of yucks, trying and having no luck, because we all know dating kinda sucks. Sarah and Adam are two of a kind. He says stupid shit and she doesn't mind. They're not doing this show to make any buck. Life as a chicken whose feathers he plucks. Why does it work? Well, here is the crux. They both know dating kinda sucks. Dating kinda sucks.
Hi, I'm Sarah.
And I'm Adam Heath Avitable.
This is Dating Kinda Sucks, a podcast about dating, sex, and relationships. This week, we'll be talking about taking a detox from dating. Enjoy the show. Hey YouTube, us again. While you're watching, be sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any future episodes. And Adam will just sit there and not say anything. Yay.
You don't give me any space to say anything.
No, I don't?
No. I also was just realizing that the wording that I wrote was take a detox from dating. And it's like, does that make sense?
This week, we'll be taking...
Going on a detox? Do you take a detox? Or you just detox? About detoxing from dating?
Yeah, we should probably just...
Or taking a dating detox?
Wait. This is dating. Okay. This week we'll be talking about detoxing from dating. We'll be talking about detoxing. There's a lot of ings at the end.
How about taking a dating detox?
Yeah.
Or going on it. Let's say going on a dating detox. God, fuck us. What is going on here?
This week,
it didn't sound
it's like talking, take. I know when I read it, I was like, I read it right, but it didn't feel right. So I'm glad you said something, actually. Yeah. Okay, hang on. This week, we'll be talking about going on a dating detox. Okay, that reads better. Okay.
That sounds so much better. And I love that our YouTube viewers are going to get to see all of this.
Oh my God, we're not taking this out?
I never take anything out.
We could just cut the video right here.
It's no fun.
Okay, fine. Fuck you, Adam, and your red shirt right now. Okay. Hi, I'm Sarah.
And I'm Adam Heath Avitable.
This is Dating Kinda Sucks, a podcast about dating, sex, and relationships. This week, we'll be talking about going on a dating detox. Enjoy the show. Well, we're back. Happy post-Thanksgiving.
That's right.
Ate, drank, and did whatever, and
I didn't.
You didn't do anything?
No. Wednesday, Lisa came over. We were going to record my other podcast, The Angel at the Starlight Motel, a true crime podcast. You should listen if you haven't heard it already. Wow, you really
just put that in there so quick in this episode already. Okay.
But anyways, she came over to record the commentary for that one, and I just wasn't in the mood. And I was like, I really don't feel like doing this. So we hung out for a minute and then decided to go out drinking instead. And we went out just to Ale House locally just to have like a couple drinks. And that was all we had.
You is a lot.
No, literally just a couple, because she was actually driving. So we're not going to drink a lot. So then we were driving back because it was like 11:30, and I was like, it's early, and she said it is early, and she goes, why don't we drop the car off at your house, and then we'll just Uber to this other place called Castleberry's, which is a dive bar to beat all dive bars.
In Castleberry, which is
yeah, exactly. And I said, oh, that sounds like a plan. So let's do that. So we dropped the car off, Ubered over there. And then we were there until they closed the doors at 2. I think we finally finished drinks at like 2:30 or 3 is when we left. Because, of course, you just never leave when the bar closes, because that would be crazy. And we get there and she knows someone that knows like her boyfriend is there. So like he buys us all shots. So we did like 4 or 5 rounds of shots, and we're drinking. On
Thanksgiving, you're saying?
Wednesday.
That's always the biggest drinking day, too.
Yeah, so we get home, and then I let's go hang out outside because it's nice out. It's like 3 a.m, and so I think I strip down and get in the pool, and she makes more drinks for us, and then she's sitting by the pool, and I'm in the pool, and we're just chatting for another hour, and then finally we come in here, and we're talking more, and neither of us is really tired, and then wake up everybody in the house, and they get mad. So then I was like, I should go to bed. And Lisa was just going to join me in the sleep in the bed. And apparently I fell asleep so quickly and started snoring so loudly that she took a video of it, which she sent me later, and then went and slept in her fucking car for the night.
Because you were that loud.
Because I was that loud. So then Thursday, I wake up at like 10:30, 11 in the morning with a text from one of the girls that lives here that says, Lisa's sleeping in the car with the car running. So when I went to work, she was still in there with the car running. You might want to make sure she's alive. So I get up and I start to go outside, and she comes in and I was like, you can't sleep with your car running. I was like, that's how you die from carbon monoxide poisoning. Like, all you need is like a leak in your,
Lisa!
yeah, I know. And she's like, I'm fine. And so, yeah. And then she left, and then I was like, I'm going back to bed. So then I ordered McDonald's on Thanksgiving Day. This is Thanksgiving Day. I ordered McDonald's, had a Big Mac and an Oreo McFlurry, and then went back to bed and slept until like 5 o'clock in the afternoon. And then, and got up and did absolutely nothing. And it was an amazing Thanksgiving, probably one of the best Thanksgivings I've ever had. So that was my my day. How about you?
I mean,
You guys have a nice little front yard dinner?
It was backyard. I was wrong.
This is the backyard. Okay.
Yeah, it was in the backyard. I didn't have any McDonald's or anything crazy beforehand the Wednesday night like you. Just picked up a bottle of wine actually the night before, and then went over to his parents' house around, I don't know, like noonish, 1 o'clock. And everyone was wearing a mask inside the house, except for him, because he is part of both parties. So he's like, he didn't have to wear a mask, but everyone else wore a mask. And then I got a tour of the house, which was cool. And then we sat outside on like their back patio area, which was really big.
Nice.
But it was funny though, even though we sat in the backyard, the neighbors walked by because they're on like the corner part, and there's like a back alley. I guess I don't really know like what's around the side. And the neighbor's like, "Hey, happy Thanksgiving. How's it going?" They're like, "Actually, we're eating dinner right now." And I was like, I feel like this is the front yard.
Well, that is funny.
But yeah, so
did you tell his parents? So by the way, I have a podcast where I talk about all my sexual experiences in frank detail, and we were discussing whether or not we were going to be eating in the front yard. No,
I
didn't
didn't.
mention that to them.
I honestly felt, and he knows this, I honestly felt very not myself, because it wasn't a
Awkward.
it wasn't a normal Thanksgiving. You know how normal Thanksgivings, there's more than just 4 people, so it was just the 4 of us, and I was the only.
I mean, there's usually a bunch of racist relatives, so yeah, you're true.
That's also true. Yes, I did not hang out with any racist relatives. That's correct. But yeah, so it was just the 4 of us, and I was the only new one in the house, obviously. So I'm the one getting asked all these questions, and it kind of felt like a first date all over again, because they're like, "Well, what do you do? And how long have you lived in Nashville?" And I was like, "Oh shit, I guess I was just not prepared to talk. Not that I can't talk about those things, but in my mind, I was like, oh, I guess that's what we're gonna talk about," which was fine, but it wasn't me cutting loose, just making jokes and being whatever. I felt very not prim and proper, but I felt very, I don't know what to say. I don't want to say an inappropriate thing. And then Master of None he literally said something about tits. And I looked at him and was like, oh, can I make a joke then? But I didn't do anything. And his dad laughed. I was like, okay, I guess that's fine. But I think the only funny thing that happened was, so we're all like wearing masks inside, and we all had our separate serving spoons, which when I walked in the kitchen, I was like, okay, I guess that makes sense. Like, no one's touching the same spoon, whatever, that's fine. But then you start serving the stuff, and it gets stuck on the spoon, and you don't want to touch the spoon because that's gonna go on the rest of the dish. So then we just had like globs of mashed potatoes still stuck on a spoon, scooping for something else. And I mean, we laughed about it. It was funny, but I was like, good effort. Yeah. That was the only thing. But
and you got to see his room. You got to see where he spends his time when he's not with you. How was it?
It was a room. I don't know.
A serial killer room. He just had like pictures of you all over the place and an altar to you.
Zero. No.
You imagine if you walked in like that, and that's what he had. It's just.
No, I cannot imagine. No, it's funny because I've only seen his room through video camera feeds when we have game night with his family, and when we first started FaceTiming.
I really thought that was going to be a very different sentence you were about to say. I only see his bedroom. I only see his bedroom through video when we have game night but with his
Game
family.
night.
Okay, yeah.
Yes. So walking in the room, I was like, this is the room. And here are all the other angles of the room. But I mean, it was fine. It was just not a normal Thanksgiving because I think with
Right.
more people, I could have chatted it up with other people, and it was basically we had dinner and then we left. And I would have loved to continue like to play games or whatever, but it just didn't feel right, you know. It was just
Yeah. I mean,
COVID, man.
Monopoly would have been kind of weird to sit there and play with across a 6 foot separation from everybody. That'd be weird.
Yeah, and it's like touching the pieces, and I thought about that because they had all these games on the back wall, and I was like, oh, we could play a game, and then I thought about, oh, never mind, we can't do that. So, maybe next time, but I don't know what the future looks like with COVID. It's only getting worse. So, and I'm honestly glad that we took the precautions that we did. I feel like we did it pretty safe, and yeah.
Well, it's good. I mean, and now you finally get to meet his family, which is nice. I mean, you'd met them virtually, but like meeting them in
Not
person.
his dad and stepmom. I've
Okay,
only met
so
his mom's side, so yeah.
right. So yeah, it was
It was
nice that you
super
finally got
nice.
to,
Yeah.
you know, put a face and name to the precautions. So that you'd had, and that's good. All right. Anything
Yeah.
else been going on?
Nothing much. We just do our normal, we hang out on Saturdays and whatever. I realize that I'm basically dating the Grinch though, and pretty much everything that you hate about the holidays, Master of None hates about the holidays. So
I know.
he
I
hates,
like him so
he hates
much more every time you tell me
uh,
a new one of these things.
he hates Thanksgiving. He hates
Yeah.
Thanksgiving food. I wanted to do because this whole year sucks. I wanted to do some fun Christmas outing or whatever and go look at lights and do something
Well,
Christmassy. And I asked him, I was like, "Hey, babe, can we do something Christmassy?" Responds back, "No," all caps. I'm like, "Oh, great. I'm fucking dating the Grinch over here." And I was like, "Oh, okay, cool. Adam would love to know this." But so we'll find something to do that's Christmassy, I guess. We made spiked hot chocolate at my place, which was a little
See,
too rich and
that's a
eh,
nice Christmassy thing. See, I can get behind that type of shit. But
yeah.
go look at fucking lights strung up. Like I just don't understand the point of that. Well, what like there's I don't get it. It's stupid. It's like parades and fireworks
Yeah,
and
he
all the
hates
other stupid
parades
bullshit.
almost. Yeah,
Yeah.
he hates everything that I think is. I don't think fireworks are that impressive, but I don't know. Parades
I,
are. I don't
I
know.
learned last night that we have something else in common, and we both share a fond appreciation for the fine piece of cinema that is Con Air.
Fuck that movie. Oh my god. We are not even talking. Don't give him the validation
Oh
of
no,
talking
we're
about this
we're definitely
fucking
talking
shit
about
ass
this.
movie
How
on
do you
this
not like Con
podcast.
Air? It's such a funny movie, and it's so like cheesily good. Like it's good in a cheesy way. Like
No, it's not. It's not good. It's funny
give me
because
back
nothing.
the money. Like I mean, come on, it's just Nicolas Cage with long hair,
His
and
chest hair showing.
yeah.
He's basically got body oil on him in some scenes, wearing a white tank top, and it's no. The
Oh,
the funniest thing was we were watching it, and Master of None goes, "Okay." The first scene happens. He goes, "Did you notice that he got off a shrimp boat in Mobile, Alabama, and his wife is 2 months pregnant, but he's been gone in the military?" He's like, well, "How did they screw that up?" And from there, I was like, "I cannot respect this movie whatsoever. This movie is garbage."
oh,
But
it was so good. I mean, all the actors in it are all like amazing actors, and they're like fucking Steve Buscemi is the weird, creepy Hannibal Lecter type who like goes and sits with a little girl on a swing set. Like, what the hell is up with that? Dave Chappelle is the crackhead guy who gets like caught in the tires of the plane, the wheels of the plane. I mean, I don't know, so many little parts. I fucking love that movie. I don't know. It's
I'm glad you could bond with him over something else, but
uh, just the it's great. It's one of those movies that everybody needs to watch. And the fact that you hated it, I don't know, Sarah. I just don't know what's wrong with you.
it's funny because we watched Con Air and then we watched Air Force One, and
Oh
I was
yeah,
like, I like Air Force One better. He's like, how could you like that better?
Air Force One's a good movie too. It's a different. I mean,
It's
because
so
Air Force
bad.
One,
It's another
it,
pilot hijacked plane movie, but
right.
whatever.
But Con Air is just like a comedy. Like I can't watch it as a serious movie. It's a comedy. But anyways, it makes me like Master of None even more every time I hear how many of these things that we share. And I'm just like, okay, good.
Yeah.
You made a good choice.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, besides that, we'll figure out something to do for the holidays. I'm gonna stay in Nashville. I'm not going back home, which is weird because normally every December since we started the podcast, we've had some kind of get together, either just the two of us or some gathering with listeners, and well, fuck, we're not gonna have that this year. So
Yes, we have. Yeah, it's not going to happen this year.
mhm.
Because I would, I mean, I would do something small here, just like without you, but I don't even think would have enough of a turnout to make it worthwhile.
Yeah.
I'll probably end up going somewhere. I'll probably, end up going to the strip club or something, over the next
I
couple
know
weeks.
last time we had a strip club party, or we had a
Yeah,
recording and then a strip club party, and then it turned into, well, me making out with the listener and all
and
of that.
me hooking up with a listener. Yeah,
So that happened.
yeah, I know.
Not this year though. Oh damn, 2020.
I know, I know. You can't, that was the last good thing to happen, and then
What?
became 2020, right?
And then I threw up in a honey baked ham parking lot,
Right.
and yeah.
Oh, that was
So
my favorite part. Was last year. You just us having to pull in so you can vomit, and I recorded. I got video of you doing that. And I just love that too.
I didn't realize you got a video of me
I'm
doing
pretty
that.
sure I
I
have a
thought you
video.
got a photo.
Oh,
Fuck
maybe I took a
me.
photo. I think there's a video, but I'm gonna save that for someday, some special day in our lives.
All right, moving on from that, and my dating life is, doing fine. What about last we left off with Parent Trap? That's what we called her. You were still kind of up in the air with where things were going. You hadn't really talked to her. You went
Well,
on a
it's
few
not that I haven't
dates.
talked to her. We chat all the time, like throughout the day. But I hadn't seen her in a little bit, and I haven't seen her since. Not because of it, just it was both busy for both of us, and I've also just been a hermit and not wanted to go out during the holiday, during like Thanksgiving. I mean, after Wednesday night, I didn't leave the house until like Monday, and I didn't drink again until Monday because I just needed to recover. Basically, it took that long. So yeah, it was bad. So I didn't want to go anywhere. So I think she kind of understood I was in a slump. So I'll definitely go out with her again. But part of me wants to just be like, hey, why don't we just like pause things until next year, and then we'll just talk about it then? Because I don't know how good I'm gonna,
The
how much.
holidays.
Yeah, and I just realized she has like a birthday coming up soon too, and like I think I talked about that, and all of that just adds so much stress and so much anxiety about what like what are you gonna do, So yeah, I don't know. I think
Are
I'll have
you
to have
trying
a
to save
practical.
money on gifts?
That too.
I'm
I mean,
kidding.
no, but
No, no.
yeah, I mean that's always a good thing, but to save money. But no, I mean, getting her a gift would just seem weird,
Yeah.
and so
Well,
I don't know. The whole situation's kind of weird. Although I did have a different date scheduled for somebody this past week on Friday. And this is someone that I had talked about in the group where I had sent her a message. I know her from going out to going out somewhere. She's somewhere that I run into a lot, and we had chatted about going out sometime. And she said she would whatever And so I sent her this big text message saying I'd like to take her out, and she just heart reacted it instead of actually
saying
responding to
something
it.
and
Yeah,
saying
and so
yes.
I posted in the group to see what they thought about it, and they're all like, "Oh, that's not a real thing." And I was like, "I think she's just really bad at texting." She said that that she's very bad at communicating. So,
Oh, that's just what you want.
well, I like somebody who can communicate, but if I know that that's how she communicates, then I'm okay with it. Like I can survive that. So last time I ran into her, she was like, "Well, I'm off work on Friday." I was like, "All right, let's go out Friday night. Let's just do it." She goes, "Okay, I'm down," and we scheduled a time and place and everything while I was seeing her in person. And then I confirmed with her like 2 days before, and she had like heart reacted it again. That was her response instead of
Mm.
replying and saying yes. She just heart reacted. But on the day of, I hadn't heard from her because I sent her shared a Google Maps with the location of where it was, and I was like, "Here it is, confirmed. I'll see you tomorrow at 7, right?"
No heart
And
reaction.
no response at all. Nothing, like no response. And then about halfway through the day, I sent her a GIF of somebody just like tapping on the screen, just like
Mhm.
a hello, and she laugh reacted to that. So I was like, "Oh, so we're
Oh
good."
my
So
god, what the
yeah,
fuck? So is
I
that
know.
yes, she's going? Oh, that's I could not. No.
I
Mm-mm.
was perfectly fine with it. But then, so I posted in the group, and it was funny how many people in the group were just like, "This is driving me crazy. How's it not driving you crazy?" Just like
Yeah,
you
that
said.
drives me insane. No fucking way.
And I was like, I just, if that's her communication style, that's fine. Like, it just doesn't bother me. Like, I know who she is as a person. So it's not like she's a stranger in that sense. It's not like she's somebody that I don't have any personal interaction with. Anyways, so I was like, what are the odds that she's actually going to be there? I'm going to go anyways because I can go have fun downtown. But about 2 hours before our actual scheduled date, she texted me and said, "Hey, I'm sorry, I just got out of the ER with kidney stones."
She didn't
And
want to say that she'd been in the ER
I don't know
how
how
many
long
hours
she
before?
went, but who knows? I mean, she could have just been in like pain and then been finally decided, oh, I have to go to the ER. But she
You
texted me
say
like,
that earlier in the day.
I mean, 2 hours is plenty of time, and I was like, oh, I
I
hope you feel
mean,
better.
yeah, but she laugh reacted at at your GIF,
So
and she
maybe
was
she was in
probably,
pain and thinking that she was going to try to make it anyways. Like, oh, I'll just push through.
I guess.
I
Okay,
don't know.
I'll give it that much. Maybe but if she was in the ER when she laugh reacted to that GIF, she should have just said, "Hey, I'm in the ER, blah blah blah, not gonna make it," and it would have given you more time. Normally, okay, so back when I dated, I would give people till noon. So if the date was at 7 and I hadn't heard from them around noon, and I texted them and said, "Hey, what's the plan?" and noon turned into 3, 4 o'clock. I just assumed we weren't going to meet up. I would never give it like a 2 hour window because it takes time to get ready and shit. I kind of want the confirmation at least by noon if it's at 7 or 2 to 3 at the latest.
Yeah, that's true. And I think that I would have deadline if it was someone that I was like a dating app person.
Yeah.
That's going to be different for me. If it's someone that I don't actually know. But if it's someone I know I'm going to run into again the next time I'm out somewhere, I'm going to run into them anyways because I see them all the time. Then it's less of a I'm less concerned with that type of thing. They made plans, and I'm going to assume they're going to stick to them. And I'd rather give people the benefit of the doubt. But if it was someone I didn't know, then I wouldn't go. If I didn't hear a confirmation from them, But if unless they confirmed, like, just, oh, I'm so sorry, I meant to text back. Yeah, I'm confirmed. Whatever. But anyway, so she's in the ER and she got a bunch of painkillers. She was like, yeah, so I'm all hopped up now. And she had told me when I saw her a couple days earlier that she had a hairline fracture in her foot. And I was like, it's like you need to go get that taken care of. She goes, well, they're just gonna like put me in a cast and whatever. I'll just wrap it up tight. I was like, no, you need to get so yeah. So I know she thinks she's tougher than she is. She was at like kickboxing or something and did that. And so I think when she went to the ER, she mentioned it to him, and she said she's in a boot now too. So they gave
Yeah,
her a boot
as she should be.
and stuff
Yeah.
for a kidney stone. So yeah, so that didn't happen. So that was my Friday night failed date. I did not go downtown because when I was like, oh well, it's not gonna happen, and then I was like, and I'm feeling kind of lazy, so I'm not. That's why I don't have to put pants on. I can never complain about not having to put pants on.
Probably for the better to just stay home.
Yeah, and that's the extent of it. I don't think anything else is going on. I don't. I really, which is kind of a good reason we're going to this topic. I really don't plan on doing much for the next 3 weeks, 4 weeks. This is we're recording this on what, the 7th,
Mm-hmm.
8th, 7th, 6th,
Six.
6th. Yeah, I don't know what fucking day it is. So like, yeah, there's only 3 weeks, 3.5 weeks left of the month, and I'm just like, what's the point of doing anything right now in this year? Like, fuck 2020. I'm
Yeah.
done.
I think
Yeah.
when I took my dating detox a few years ago, I did it from, I want to say October through early January because I was planning on moving, the holidays, just other priorities I wanted to focus on. So I
Right.
think this is actually, as we get into it later in this episode, I think this is actually a good time for you to just step away from the dating apps and do other things and sit in your underwear in your place and not go to bars and not,
Yeah.
especially with COVID and stuff too. I mean, you run the risk of, I know you have a different opinion, but you run the risk of, especially now more than ever, getting COVID on a first date too.
True. Plus, I just ordered a bidet, so I'm excited about getting that, and I just figure like maybe I could just turn up the pressure on that and just get enough sexual pleasure out of that I don't need to go on any more dates, anyways.
Yeah, well, wishful thinking there. Okay. Let
I,
us know how
I'm,
that
s-
goes.
I'm
Shit,
I'm
no
legitimately
one
excited.
asked that. Nobody
I'm
said no
legitimately
one,
excited
no
about
one
getting this
asked for
bidet.
that.
I know, but I'm legitimately excited about this bidet coming. I don't know. The ad, by the way, that came with it when I ordered it, it had the email said, "Here's some accessories you might need." And like it said, if the water pressure blasts your asshole off, here is a way to reduce the water
It did
pressure.
not. It
It
did
did. It
not.
legitimately said if the water pressure blasts your asshole off. Yeah.
And that's what you want. No.
I was like, all right, well, this thing is kinky. All right, let's get this shit on. Here we go.
Jeez.
Prostate massage via water. Here I go.
Jeez. Okay,
Yeah.
well, don't be continued on that. No.
Don't
To
be
be
continued. Oh no, we're gonna be to
to
be
be continued.
continued.
No, let's just pass. Nope.
This is all gonna be my part of my plan to get. It's called Tushy. Get that company to sponsor us. It's just to talk about how how awesome their bidet is.
And how
So
you were able to come through.
come just from bidet alone,
And it's
hands free bidet orgasm. Yeah, we'll see how it goes.
and it blasted my asshole and I came all over.
And I
And then
said,
I was able to use the
I
bidet to
said
help clean up.
bidet to you too. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Before we take a break, let's get into. I want to talk more about your other podcast. So
Oh, okay.
you
Yeah.
launched it after last time. You launched it, and it is
Last week.
called Millennial Toes.
Millennial Toes, the name. So a lot of people have actually asked me, is Adam mad at you for starting another podcast? And I just had to laugh because one, Adam has another podcast, which he
Right.
did a shameless plug when we started this episode. And two, Adam came up with the concept for this fucking podcast and has been pushing me since April to do it. So
Exactly. People who
he's
thought
not
that'd be mad is so funny.
he's not mad. He
No,
actually is very happy that I
I'm
finally fucking started it. So
I'm thrilled. Yeah, no, yeah, because I exactly. I had the idea, and I was like, you should do this, and you should call it Millennial Toes, and you should do this, and you should do that, and you're like, I don't know, and I'm like, come on, do it, and then eventually you were like, I don't know, you woke up one day, and you felt motivated, and you decided to
yeah.
give it a shot. So I'm excited. Um, and I want people who are listening now, it's not just like for somebody if like you're about feet or you want to sell pictures of your feet. Like that's not just the market. It's actually really interesting too. Sarah, the first two episodes are already out, and Sarah's got some really interesting stories about just her life. So I think if you enjoy the stories Sarah shares here about dating, you're going to enjoy Millennial Toes. So if you haven't had the chance to find it on iTunes or Spotify, then you definitely should. Yeah, I just wanted to bring it up again because I know we're going to probably have an ad at the ad break for it because
Mhm.
we're going to be advertising for it. But I want to talk about it organically too because each of us has our own like pursuits, and with our 3 podcasts now that we're trying to really we're just this is it. We're just becoming just this behemoth now. That's the whole goal. So
3 podcasts and now we take over the world.
yes, we're so close, so close.
So close. Yeah, actually now that that got released though, so many people kind of came out of the woodworks and messaged me on Instagram like, "I'm listening to your podcast. How do I sell foot photos?" Or "I've sold a couple in the past. I want to keep making money." Or there's some anonymous person from high school who honest to God, I do not know who it is, and he messaged me and was like, "Hey, found Millennial Toes, messaged me through his foot Instagram and was like, I've been selling pics for whatever. And I was like, well, how do I know you? And he's like, oh, from high school. And I was like, and I don't know who you are. Okay. But
Right.
there's a market because, he's a guy. There's a market for male foot photos too. And he makes a killing doing that. So I'm like, fuck, I kind of want to have you on too. I kind of threw out the offer and a couple people have asked to be on, former clients and things of that nature that are like, hey, if I could be anonymous, I'd love to talk about feed and foot photos and photography and stuff. So there's a lot of opportunity out there, which honestly
That's
I was
awesome.
not expecting that, at least not that. So yeah.
That's great. And hey, if now that I know that feet photos for men work too, maybe I'll add that to my OnlyFans. Because right
You
now
should.
it's just mostly porn. So like I should maybe consider adding just feet pics instead.
So
Or on top of it.
Master of None is probably the most supportive person regarding me selling. I've sold shoes and socks and photos and done videos and whatever. And so someone on OnlyFans asked if I could do a video of someone sucking on my toes, which I'm like, who the fuck would be willing? I'm not going to suck on my own toes, but who the
Right,
fuck would
right.
be willing to suck on my toes? And I was telling him that. He goes, oh, well, I'll fucking do it. He's like, what help do you need for your videos? He's like, if you need that, he's like, fuck, I'll take photos of my dick and post it on OnlyFans. He's like, I don't give a fuck. I'm like, what is happening?
I
And then,
like him so much, by the way. I just want to say, like,
and then
so
he,
much.
he was saying that now that he knows that there's a market for men's foot photos, he's like, oh, well, we could just tag team it and you could sell yours and I'll sell mine and we'll just help each other out. And like, is this a power couple move? I didn't know this is something we could get together, but okay. So we were talking about that yesterday.
This is fantastic.
Yep.
I'm very excited to see what happens with this. So not just with your podcast, but also with your OnlyFans. So, and you
Maybe
and I,
Master None will make an appearance. Who fucking
yeah,
knows?
who knows? That would be funny if he makes an appearance on that before he makes ever appearance on Dating Kind of Sucks in any way,
Literally, right?
like, And you and I both have them. They're both for free. OnlyFans / Millennial Toes and OnlyFans / Avitable. They're both free. So that's just a whole way for you to be scandalous with us if you'd like. And with that, let's go ahead and take a break.
Well, this is our last episode of 2020, really doing it big, ending on a high note, just take a dating detox, give up already.
I don't know that telling people to just like maybe take a break is too negative. It's not too negative, is it?
I think it's the advice everyone needs to take, but everyone
Yeah.
doesn't want to take, honestly.
Maybe that's it. 2020 is the tough love year, so we're just gonna, instead of like patting everybody's balls and being like, "Oh, it's okay," we're just gonna instead just be like, "Yeah," we're just like, "No, you know what? Just take a fucking break. All right, that's what you need. You need a fucking break. You need a detox. Dating detox is the only type of detox that's actually worthwhile or useful.
Agreed.
Let's just get that out of the way. All those other detoxes are absolute bullshit.
They'll just make you shit. This is the only one that works.
And if you actually talk to doctors with degrees and what the fuck they're talking about, not nutritionists who don't know got their degree at Valencia or whatever, they
shit on Valencia.
Or any of those schools, like they'll tell you that actually detoxes don't do anything. They're completely, your body is a permanent detox machine. It's designed to detox.
Kidneys for a reason.
Exactly. You don't need to detox, and anyways, but when it comes to dating, when it comes to external things that are not going into your body, other than that dick, then you can detox.
What about a dick detox?
That's what this is basically. This
is a dick detox. Dating and dick detox.
Dating and dick detox. That's right. So yeah,
that's a hard one. Yeah.
I mean, if you're already in a relationship like you are, you can keep getting the dick.
Oh yeah, I'm not taking a detox from dick.
But if you're in the process of trying to maybe figure out your shit, as far as dating, maybe trying to avoid sex for the next month too at the same time wouldn't be a bad idea. Like a sex and dating detox.
Avoid COVID.
Well, that too, yeah.
I don't know. I think
that goes without saying. I feel like we should just say that we're assuming that people are being smart about this, and they're only going out and seeing people once they've decided the person is safe and the person's been quarantined and not exposed and all these things. At least ideally, that's the situation. I don't know for a fact, but I'm hoping that that's who the people that are going on dates. I know when I'm going on dates, it's with people that I know are either being safe or people who, in some cases, like they maybe. They're in the process of they're exposed on a constant basis anyways, and I know I'm not going to share it with anybody because I'm not going to see any grandparents or anybody. I don't see anybody else, so I'm putting myself at risk maybe, but that's about it.
Yeah, see, I asked one of my friends who's dating right now, and I was like, so how is it out there? Is it still, because Thanksgiving happened, cases are going up. I was asking, how are things? And he goes, it's the same shit that it's been going on since the summer. Some people want 3 video calls before meeting you in person. Other people want to come over that night and fuck you. He goes, it really just depends on the person. He goes, it's almost like COVID isn't real for some people. And I mean, this is in Nashville, but still, so it's case by some people in Nashville give a fuck about COVID. Other people really don't give a fuck about COVID. So that makes sense why that's been his experience. But yeah.
Like there's people who think the election wasn't real either. So those are also the same people. If you could probably have a Venn diagram of people that don't believe the results of the election and people who don't think COVID is real, and it'd just be a fucking circle. That'd be my guess. That would be the Venn diagram.
Yeah.
Anyways, so let's get into why, even not in a time of COVID, why maybe it's a good idea during the month of December to take a break from dating.
Yeah, I think. Well, okay, because people call this season cuffing season. Which I just think we've already done a whole episode on that. God knows how fucking long ago on just how
it feels like it wasn't. I mean, I feel like it was over a year ago that we did it. Yeah, I think it was last cuffing season. I think is when we did it. So, but
last cuffing season, yeah.
Were you about to start singing like "You Gave Me Your Heart"? Is that what you're about to start singing?
You gave me your number. I don't know.
That's actually kind of a good song for cuffing season now that I think about it. Like the very next day, what is it? I gave it away? I don't know.
Yeah, you threw it away. I don't know. But anyways, so because of cuffing season, I think a lot of people pre-COVID were trying to date and find somebody by the D date of Valentine's Day because that's a fucking goal is to a goal.
It wasn't even Valentine's Day. It was like, but it was like it started in like October because it was like this is the holiday. So you were trying to find somebody to cuff basically that you could have with you to go to holiday parties and go to all your family events and celebrate Christmas with and go look at lights and all this stuff. And then, and break up before Valentine's Day. Like that was pretty much the goal is for it to end by Valentine's Day.
Isn't there that movie about that whole fucking concept of holiday or something with Emma Roberts, and she just has this date that she always calls when she needs someone? I haven't watched
heard of
it,
that
but
movie, but I have not watched it. Maybe you should make Master of None watch that one and just
no, I hear that it's
exchange.
garbage.
Oh,
But
okay.
yeah, but yeah, I think cuffing season people are trying to date, but this year it's like why? I think overall everyone's tired. Everyone's exhausted from literally doing nothing. I mean, we're not going into work for the most part. We're not doing all the events and stuff, but we're still tired. We're sick of this COVID bullshit, but at the same time, it is what it is. We're staying home for the most part, maybe not you. And
plenty of people who are like
dating
service industry workers and stuff like that, they can't stay home. So they're still out there working almost like it is normal because especially here in Florida where everything's wide open, then it makes it more difficult for them to even, try to stay safe. And so then they're going to try to date too? I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, you just put more people at risk, but I don't know. The vibe for the end of this year is just like, fuck it, And then it's like maybe the vibe for dating for the rest of this year is, fuck it. Let's just drink alone and not date. I don't know. It just seems like an extra hassle on the end of a shit year.
Absolutely. If you were to take the time that you'd spend on dating apps and matching with people and having people leave after one conversation and then having guys try to fuck on the first, in the immediate chat and that you have to block, or people just like start talking and then they just disappear out of nowhere after you have a good conversation with them and then eventually find someone who's willing, worthwhile to chat with, and then getting to the point that you want to go on a date, maybe, and then, maybe deciding
and then they get COVID and then you don't
right.
You don't go on that date,
or
and then
then you find out that something's wrong with them, or they're actually married and they didn't tell you, and that they're polyamorous, but their wife doesn't know, or whatever. Like
tired already.
Yeah, it's exhausting. So like I feel like maybe you'd be just doing your own mental health and emotional health a service by saying, you know what, I'm just going to turn off the dating apps for now until 2021. I'm just going to give myself a break and use that time to something productive, whatever it might be. There's so many other things you could do that might just make you feel better about yourself and about life.
I would say do it for 90 days. When I did my dating detox, I did it for a couple months, and that was super fucking nice. Deleted all the apps, said, fuck it, I'm not going to do anything related to dating, not going to go on a date even if I meet somebody. And it was a nice refresh right before we actually started this podcast. This is when I took my dating detox, and then I went on a slew of fucking dates, and that became exhausting. But just mentally not fucking spending your time doing it, because I think we forget too how much we're on the apps when we're in the midst of dating, because you're checking your phone, responding to that last Tinder match, and then you're swiping, and you're spending collectively, I wouldn't say hours, but maybe check your own phone screen time and see how much you're spending on the app and go, okay, if I'm spending every week at least an hour or two on this app, what if I dedicated that time for the next month or so, or 3 months or whatever, however long you want to detox for, and spend it on working on a project that I've always wanted to get back into, but I just couldn't find the time, and try to remotivate yourself for some of those other projects, and just say, fuck you dating for another couple months, especially if other cities are getting locked down and COVID cases are rising. And I just think throwing that in the mix too, it's the best time to just go, fuck it. Because what's going to happen is we're already seeing a spike. Christmas is going to happen. No one's going to fucking take precautions there. Everyone's going to get together for Christmas. There's going to be another spike. Then New Year's is going to happen, another spike. It's like you're better off just waiting until probably end of January, realistically. And then by then it's fucking Valentine's Day, and you're like, well, might just want to wait until after that. I don't know.
That's a good point. No, and I don't think you're wrong on that. I think the timing is up to you. It's however long you need. I know that I go through periods where I don't look at the dating apps. So we've talked about it multiple times when we would go through it. So Adam, what's up with you? And I would have multiple weeks where I would have nothing to add.
Fuck this shit.
Yeah, and so I mean, I get because I get just frustrated with it. I'm like, it's not worth it right now. I don't really because I don't want to engage with people. So why do I want to get anyone else's? This is egotistical, but get anyone else's hopes up by matching with them on an app and then not being able to talk and not wanting to talk with them. But I don't mean it like in the ego, but I mean just in a way like why am I going to waste someone's time either? And so
You're not all in.
Well, I'm not all in, and so and that happens a lot. And so I need to, I think detoxing is a good way because when you're at a point where you're like, oh, good, I'm not going to worry about it. I'm just not going to look at the apps, maybe even delete them off your phone. I'm not going to try to talk to people. I'm just going to just live my life. Who knows? That might be when you run into people that you like anyways. That might be when things happen. Sometimes things happen when you don't even expect it to.
I fucking hate that advice.
I know you do. You said
but
that.
No, but I've said this for fun. I like let the record show that I have said that
Your Honor, let the record show.
Let it show that I hate that line so fucking much. But I will say, I had basically given up on fucking dating at the beginning of quarantine, end of March, early April. And then I started talking to Master of None. Like, and I mean, I shared it on our Instagram of him going, do you even see this going anywhere? Like, I'm not really feeling a connection. And I had a moment of like, I mean, I'm not feeling that way, but also like, I mean, if you're not, we could end this right now. I mean, there was an opportunity for me to be like, actually, no, I'm not really feeling it. Bye. And I would have never dated Master of None. But
Right.
I had basically given up like right before that point of matching with him.
Oh, I know.
And I was like, even us FaceTime dating virtually and all that, I was like, I still don't know where this is going to go. And then finally we met in person. I was like, okay, this kind of put the ball in motion. So it kind of is the case, like, when you stop giving a fuck, like really stop giving a fuck and go, I don't want to do this anymore, then you get back on for a minute and then it kind of happens. So
yeah, well,
and I hate that, but that's what happened to me.
Well, because what I think sometimes is when you give up, and it's like that, like the movie Office Space mentality, that sometimes when you stop caring so much about something, you can allow things to happen more organically. Mm-hmm. And you no longer have that desperation of, oh my God, this has to happen. You're like, well, if it does, it does. If it doesn't, it doesn't. So like you have almost like just this ability to maybe appreciate things a little bit more when they do happen because you're not trying for them. They're just occurring in your life.
Yeah. And it's a bonus.
Yes.
Because you weren't shooting for it.
Exactly.
Like,
it's just like, okay, cool. Okay. And if it doesn't work out, okay. And I think that like when I provide interview counseling to my clients and stuff like that for the resume business I do, that it's one of those things that I tell them, I'm like, you have to go to an interview pretending like you don't care, and not like you don't care in the way that you don't put effort into it. Put effort in.
You obviously prep and all of that,
right? But you go into the interview and just realize if you don't get this job, it's not the end of the world. That you don't, it's that, you're just going in because it's going to be good practice for you. Like you don't see it as anything other than good practice. And that helps because you're more relaxed. You're not like, it's not a life or death situation anymore. It's more of a, oh, okay, whatever happens, happens. And people see that and they respond to that energy. They respond to that body language of you being relaxed. And that's the same concept with dating.
Yeah, because there are those people who have the mentality of, I need to get married. I should have been married yesterday, but I'm single and I need to fucking solve this problem. So, and I mean, I've been there too. It's like, okay, well, I want to be in a relationship so fucking bad. So I'm just on the apps, whatever. And I fucked up. Now looking and seeing all the fucking mistakes I made, even when we started this podcast of like, oh, well, date 3, we do this. Date 4, we do this. Date 5, the expectation is that. I was like, Sarah, that's fucking unrealistic as shit. That did not pan out for how Master of None and I set our relationship. But I had this mentality of, if the relationship's going to be successful by date 3, we'll figure out if we're going to be exclusive or not, or like date 4 or 5. And then by that point, and I had this fucking timeline, and it fucking reeked desperation. And it took so long to fucking realize that, honestly, until probably this past year. I mean, like, oh, maybe I was pushing for stuff that was never going to work. And when I finally said, oh, fuck it, there is no timeline, there is no right or wrong way to do this, just go with the flow, that's when things actually started happening.
Yes. Yeah, I think that was good. I think that you did have to shift your perspective a little bit. You changed the way you approached it a little bit, and not so much.
It was tough though.
Adhering to your schedule. Oh, I know. It's been a challenge.
I wanted the validation of like, okay, well, he wants me, and Master of None at the beginning barely fucking texted me like ever.
Oh, I
And
know.
he said, he was not a good texter or communicator. And I was like, oh God, I don't think I can date this guy. But we figured it out because I think I wanted someone to message me every once in a while and like check in with me throughout the day because I thought that was sexy or whatever. And that just wasn't the case for us. And I'm totally
Right.
actually fine with how it is now. But it's those ideas that we
It's just
think
because you
this
FaceTime me like 4 or 5 times a day now, so that's
also
what.
that, yeah. But it's like I had all these ideas for this is what equals a successful relationship. So, I got to keep swiping until I find the right guy. And fuck that. Like,
Yeah.
I, I hate to admit it, but it's whenever you kind of give up and you're like, okay, let's just go with the flow and see what happens next. And I'm not going to wreak the desperation anymore. That's when things start to happen for you.
And in addition with that too, as far as like dating apps, if you take a break from them and you deactivate them, when you go back on,
Oh, yeah.
eventually the apps are going to reward that as well. They're going to see you as
User.
new meat, fresh meat for all the new people. So they're going to bump you up in the algorithm. So there's a positive there as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think this is I don't know, me mentally, even if Master of None and I wouldn't have continued dating up until this point, I think I would still take a fucking break. Like after a month or two of
Yeah.
doing whatever we did and we decided to not date anymore. I don't know, just given the shit this year has brought everyone, I don't know if I'd be really motivated to date. I think I was motivated at the beginning of the year and that kind of carried on up until I met Master of None. But the rest of this year, and I just have not been motivated. Trying to force motivation, especially when it comes to dating, is so difficult. And if you're not feeling motivated outside of just dating, then that
Yep.
might be
Yep.
your sign too. That don't try to force motivation when you don't even have it for other aspects of your life to try to be motivated for dating. You're wasting your time and energy, I think.
Yeah, I think that you're right. I think that if you and Master None hadn't worked out, I could see you just deciding, fuck it, I'm gonna just focus on trying to travel
Literally.
and do these other things instead. Um, and I do say this, if in the future you end up single again,
Hmm.
I can't see you maybe putting such a strong emphasis on waiting for sex again either.
That's fair. Yes.
I feel like
That
because
is fair. Yes, that's
because
fair.
you have had like it is because once once you decided to start having sex, you like I feel like you've really kind of, I don't say blossomed, that sounds weird, but like you've like you're like you're like, oh yeah, we tried this and we tried, like you've done like all these things now that I feel like you're gonna be like, I need some more intimacy, like I need that level, I want something like that, so that's gonna be something I think that is very important to you.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's funny because if you were to look at, this is 2020. Sarah and I started chatting back in 2017. The end of 2017 is when we started just kind of becoming friends, and we started talking about dating. Like we just share our bad dating stories with each other, and then it wasn't until January of 2018 that I think we like mid-January to the end, I was like, we were both drunk one night on like Snapchat or something and sharing a bad dating story, and I was like, we should start a podcast. And Sarah was like, I'm down. And then that's where this came from. And it's just funny if you think about like the 3 years from, we actually launched the first episode, I think it was in March of
March.
2018.
Hmm.
So we're getting up on our actual 3-year anniversary of it. And like, I would say that who you are now is so drastically different than who you
Oh,
were then.
for fucking
Yeah,
sure. Yeah.
yeah. Like, and it's been you I think you're much more open. You're much more like maybe just, I don't know. I feel like you kind of opened up your whole world to like maybe what other people go through as well. Maybe a little more too.
I was really I thought I was it's funny cuz I look at my old Snapchats that I've saved of me going on rants and stuff and I was fucking 25, 26 saying what I was saying, and I watch it now, I'm like, "Oh, that's so fucking cringy. Oh my god, why did you do that? Oh, Sarah, no." Cuz now I'm looking, I was like, you had a lot to learn." And I think it's because I one opened myself up to the podcast, dated a lot, took some breaks in between, got hurt, and just like gained all of this perspective. And now I am how I am. And I'm like, I feel very secure in my own skin now, where I think I said that I was before, but I wasn't really,
Right, right.
where now I'm like, I don't give a shit. And I don't know. So I don't know
It's
how
just it's
that gets back to the detox stuff,
yeah,
but
I don't know. I was just kind of thinking about the if we're looking at how I mean where we are just as a partners on this podcast. Not that I mean I guess I've changed in some way. I've gotten a little
slight,
bit more, slightly,
slight.
maybe not
Yeah.
as much, marginal. As you've been in, you've
I've
it's hard.
blossomed down. It's like, I just drink a little less sometimes. I don't
I
know.
do like yeah, I don't do as much, and I'm more willing to talk to people closer to my own age, and things like that.
That's true.
So
That's
I've
very true.
shifted.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess I've shifted a little bit, but I'm I'm also at that place, and I think that like right now, where even though I am in the process of dating someone, that just and this is hard to say because just the process of actually dating right now just is so exhausting. Like
Mhm.
just everything about it just sounds like effort. It sounds like just effort that's not necessarily going to be worth it over the holidays. And it is part of it is because I'm a Grinch, but part of it's just because it really is just this end of this year. I feel like should just be a thing where you do try to just get rid of shit in your life and just try to focus on yourself and just make it through the end of the year. Like that should be the extent of it.
You really should give us the last 3 weeks of the year off and say, we know you've been through some shit. Here you go.
The whole everything should shut down. Just like literally just the last 3 weeks of December, everything should shut down. I think the stores, everything. Fuck it. Who needs Christmas either? Just forget it all,
Yes.
honestly.
Yeah.
But that's my belief in that sense. But it's what are some ideas that you might have for people to do instead of dating? What would you suggest?
Well, I think the go-to thing is always like start a new hobby or whatever. And this is if you're planning on doing the detox now, I think some people for New Year's because the biggest dating day for dating apps is that first Sunday of the new year. A lot of people make the resolution, "Hey, January 2021 is going to be my year because 2020 sucks, so I'm going to start dating." And I think one, yes, start a new hobby, but two, don't make that your resolution.
Yeah.
Um I mean, hobby might sound like a stretch for a stereotypical thing or just whatever thing that you should do when you're not dating. But I also think too, like I said, take the time that you're not on the apps and pick up something that you might have left off the rest of this year, Like if you had a writing project or you were supposed to go somewhere, maybe not travel related, but something that you just kind of like let die
Read
this
that book
year.
that's on your list that you haven't read yet. That
Yeah.
could be a fun thing to do instead of going on a date. You can sit home and read, or watch that show that you've been putting off that you want to give it a try.
Yeah.
Those are things you can do too. If you're craving attention but you don't want to deal with the dating app type of attention,
Start
then
an OnlyFans.
yeah, there we go. Start an OnlyFans. You get plenty of attention,
Oh
and
God.
you don't have to date any of them. I was gonna say do something like join, and I can't believe I'm actually saying this, but join something like TikTok where you can actually have fun and you can actually, I know it's so weird, you can find a community of people that are like-minded. It's actually not too hard to find a community of like-minded people and be able to just kind of participate and maybe just get some type of feedback and maybe have some social interaction as well.
Yeah.
And yeah, it
Or
just
just instead of a hobby, it's like fix your fucking life. If your finances suck right now, and I know people are going through a lot of different financial struggles and stuff,
yeah.
maybe instead of spending the time being on dating apps, take the time to make a spreadsheet and track all your finances and really make, the next couple of weeks, set yourself up for success for the next year to start better tracking your finances and put the ball in motion for things that that you kind of suck at or you need to do a better job at and start fixing those things now so it doesn't compound to being worse in the future.
Yeah, that's very true.
Fix your
Clean
life.
Fix your life. Yeah, that is a good time. Treat yourself by fixing your life, and then that way in January you'll feel better. Don't wait till your New Year's resolution. Oh, this year I'm going to do this because first of all,
Oh,
resolutions are bullshit. Yeah,
yeah.
resolutions are
We've said
stupid.
this before. Yeah.
It's okay. I mean, resolutions as a whole aren't stupid. New Year's resolutions are stupid. Like waiting till like a certain date to be like, this is when I can resolve to do anything. It doesn't make any sense. Why not resolve to do something now? And then by the time the new year comes along, you'll be like feeling fresh and happy about it. And you won't feel like, oh, I have to get this done.
Yeah.
If you just, whatever it might be, whether it's going to be, you want to clean out an area and make it into a space for yourself, or you want to,
Be
whatever,
healthier or
yeah, be
what? Yeah.
healthier. I don't know why I'd want to do that. Fuck that. Just get unhealthy because like it doesn't matter. Let's just eat worse food and just do
Says
it.
the man with like tubs of mayonnaise in his pantry right now.
They're
Fuck being
jars.
healthy.
Who has tubs of mayonnaise? They're
I'm
jars of
sorry.
mayonnaise.
Jars of mayonnaise. Massive jars of mayonnaise.
Speaking of which, so I tried the McRib for the first time ever today
It's
because
not
it's like
even real rib. Let's be
no,
real. This is not
no.
sponsored, by the way. Why are you bringing up a McRib right now?
Because someone said that if I didn't like it, to try dipping it in mayonnaise and I might like it better. And so I tried that and it did not help. It was really, I was like, that was not something that was another thing I tried for 2020 that just I was like, you know what? I've never tried this. Might as well. It's not like 2020 can get any worse. And then I was like, after eating it, I was like, oh no, I was wrong. Another thing that managed to fail me completely. Fucking,
Yeah.
oh God. Yeah.
I should
It's
have
just like,
told you that.
it's like if you took barbecue sauce and then just condensed it into an edible, and you let it sit out in a tray until it became hard, and then you're like, here, just chew on this. Like that's really what it felt like to me. It was just hardened, tangible barbecue sauce that was stringy.
You know, I worked at McDonald's for 2 years,
No,
right?
I did not know that.
And so when the McRib happened, it would always smell really good, but then I would see the meat sitting in the tray and be disgusted because it's not
That's
meat.
awful.
So,
Yeah,
yeah. Me, McDonald's.
yeah. Thinking about you working at McDonald's is kind of funny. I don't know.
Back in Oviedo, Florida, baby.
I just can't see you being nice to people as a customer, like as customers. Like
I
I
work
just
at a
can't.
spa now and I'm nice to people. Fuck off.
Yeah, but now you have like the way to rant on social media immediately afterwards, or like to talk about it. But I feel like you didn't really have that
That's
when you
true.
were, I don't know. Just seeing you being, especially fast food customers, are some of the worst people in the world too. So I just can't
Oh, I've
imagine.
been yelled at. Yeah. Little 17-year-old me was yelled at, but I digress there.
Yeah, I know. That has nothing to do with this, except don't eat McRibs. Detox from McRibs. That's the thing.
Detox,
I just say that
detox
too.
from dating and McRibs.
Just hitting
Okay,
it
got it.
McRibs.
Mm.
I don't know. Like, I think that this is just one of those things that I think people sometimes are worried that if they stop dating, they're
They'll
not going to
never
get back
find
into it.
someone.
Yeah, and I think that it's good for us to maybe tell them, no, it's okay. Like it's okay to take a break. It's okay for you to decide,
Healthy.
I don't want to do this right now. I'm just going to focus on me and I'll get back to what I want to. And here's the thing, you'll eventually be like, oh, let me try it again.
Hmm.
And or who knows, in your random life you'll end up deciding that it's not worth it, but or you'll run into somebody and you'll start dating that way. But like don't force yourself to do something that you're not enjoying, that you're not getting a benefit from. Dating should be an entertaining and positive, engaging experience.
And when it's not, that's when you know that it's time to stop for a little bit.
Exactly.
When
Exactly.
you're, yeah, I mean, and I've said this before, when you're honestly dreading getting on the apps and then planning the date and you're like, oh my God, and you're not have a positive mindset about it, that's when
Right.
you're gonna fucking fail because you already have that mentality that it's gonna go so wrong.
That's exactly right. And I think that if you decide, if you dread it, you shouldn't do it. When it stops being fun, is a good time to wait until it is fun again.
The other
And
thing
yeah,
The other thing that I think people don't do enough of, and this is probably the perfect time if you're going to take a dating detox, is to enjoy being single. Holy shit. Even though I'm in a relationship now, and like really nothing has honestly changed besides like, obviously I see Master of None and whatever, but there's like, I just like being by myself and doing my own thing and being like, oh yeah, I have the opportunity to like talk to guys and do whatever, but also I can just be me and I have no obligations to fucking anyone. Fuck the world. And this is what I like and don't like. And you get reacquainted with yourself. And I think that matters so much more now more than ever. And then after you get done reminding yourself how fucking awesome you are, then you can get on the apps. So appreciate the single moments in your life because I don't know. If you meet someone that get married and then whatever, I mean, then you're not single anymore and you miss that big opportunity. I don't know.
or you might realize that you're just a miserable, lonely Grinch of a person, and you really actually do want somebody else in your life to help you not do that too. Because I mean, I go through those periods where I don't talk to anybody, and I'm like, I enjoy that. Like post Thanksgiving, I didn't really see anybody for like 4.5, 5 days. Didn't talk to anybody. Didn't leave the house, and it was pretty incredible. And then but after that, I was like, okay, now I'm ready for interaction. Now I'm ready for for somebody
I'm fully charged.
yes, like exactly. My batteries are charged, ready to interact, and so there is that pleasantness of being single that you can do that. And I think that that's the same thing with dating. Like if you can eventually just be like, okay, I'm finally recharged enough that the act of dating isn't going to sap me of my power and sap me of my strength, but it's actually going to energize me more because it's going to bring me things that are fruitful. And it is difficult to kind of maybe assess when that time is. So you just have to listen to yourself, and I think that's a very important thing. Don't set sometime a timeline. Oh, I'm going to start dating on this date, like Sarah was saying, but just listen to yourself.
Mm-hmm. I don't think there's anything better to say besides that. Is if you're getting a good vibe, keep doing it. If you're getting negative vibes, and that's the other thing. Once you take the detox and get back to being on the apps, I think you have that. You're recharged. You have a fresh mentality of when people are dicks on the app. You might laugh at it more because I know that was my case too. Of like,
Sure.
oh, this fucking asshole, and I would laugh at it and start making fun of it. And then when conversations were going well, I was like, I was optimistic about it, but not the desperation level of optimistic. You know what I mean? So I was realistic, happy about that, and then also not letting the fucking assholes on the apps that are like, come over and fuck me, babe, were pissing me off. I was just like, okay, whatever. Unmatched with you, Chad.
Yeah. Fucking Chad.
Fucking
It makes
Chad.
it easier to laugh at that type of thing when you're energized from it, when it's not a
Yeah.
draining thing on you. And
Mhm.
I think it has to be new. You have to give it a chance to feel new again. And that's really, the what you're going to have to do in order to survive that whole dating experience, because it is an experience that can be challenging, but as long as you don't take it too seriously, then you'll be fine.
Yeah. Well said.
Or you'll be like me and have a new bidet installed and you'll never need to date again.
Oh,
So
get your asshole blasted.
get your asshole blasted and then you're
How
all
much
set.
did you spend on that? I'm just curious now.
$70. It was on sale
70
over
bucks to get
Thanksgiving.
your asshole blasted.
Well, I mean, just for the actual bidet, and it installs with my existing toilet. Yeah, it's supposed to be great. Everybody, like, when I posted about it on Facebook, everybody's like, "Oh, I have one of those. It's amazing. Like, it's really, it's supposed to be really good." So I
All
figured
right.
it saves on toilet paper and saves on, I don't know. It feels just like, and I feel very European.
Yeah.
So I know. So I'm
Getting that detox.
so classy and continental. I'm getting that detox.
That asshole
Uh,
detox. Anyways.
and I think that a lot of people get to share their stuff on, and like in our Facebook group, we get a lot of people who vent and want to rant because they do have experiences, and I think that helps too. Like I think that even if you're detoxing doesn't mean you still aren't going to have plenty of stories to share, but if you are in the process of trying to date and you don't know what to do about it, then I would recommend joining that group, because we have a lot of people who are very empathetic and sympathetic and have good experiences, and I chime in sometimes and Sarah never chimes in, and
Nope. It's what it is there. I'm never on Facebook like that, so.
yeah, but I'd love to see more people join us there by the end of the year. Where we broke 1,500 members, and I'd love for it to grow even more before 2021. And that's at facebook.com/groups/DKS podcast. And in the last year, I think we've grown. I think we were probably at maybe 1,000 last
Yeah.
about a year ago, maybe a little bit less. And I feel like it's really grown.
Yeah, I do also think too, we haven't seen, I mean, this is just me being candid. We haven't seen that big of a boost this year with dating kind of sucks. And I also think that's because the overall mentality is dating. You
Yeah,
know?
true.
It's
That's
like
very true.
2020, dating, which if you're meh, just stop. Take a
Yeah,
break.
exactly. There's a reason we went to going to episodes every 2 weeks instead of every week, because I feel like we weren't feeling it either. Just
Yeah.
because there's only so much you can talk about things when the world is shut down, and not even shut down, but also when everything is such an unknown, when there's so much upheaval in the world, and nobody, normal is feeling like we're going to feel normal until end of January, when maybe things might start to feel like a little bit more like we're used to. And we'll start having a little bit more positive growth and less, kind of negativity and hate in the world. And so, I think that's one thing that we have seen, is that it's, the people are doing things maybe in a slightly different pattern now too.
Mm-hmm. For sure. Well, I guess we can wrap up this shit show of a year in this episode and see
right.
everyone in 2021, and maybe we'll be even more refreshed and see how everyone's doing with their detox and go from there.
Yeah, so this is going to be the last episode of the year, just because by the time this one comes out, and then the next one would be, I think, Christmas Eve, I believe.
Yeah, no one's gonna listen to that.
And no one's going to listen to that. And so then, so we're probably looking at second week of January for our return for season 4. This is the season 3 finale. Sarah hates that I do it seasons, but I feel like it makes it easier. Like season 4 is going to be a whole new season, and
It's just us. Nothing has really changed. We're still.
We may
recording separate in Orlando and Nashville, but yeah, season 4, baby.
You never know. I might try a new outfit. We might have new stuff to do. Who knows?
So much optimism going into the new year. I see.
This week, Sarah asked me to wear something other than a black T-shirt for our YouTube video, which is, by the way, youtube.com/datingkindasucks, because she wanted to wear black. So I showed up in the video with no shirt on, and she made me put a shirt on.
Rubbing his nipples.
Rubbing my nipples.
I should add, yes.
As of course, why
I could never unsee that.
Yes. So I had to put on a different colored shirt. So, there's change happening already with that.
Holy shit.
But you can join us on YouTube, and you can see the whole uncensored video too, because I don't edit any of the shit out as well. So that'll be. You're
gonna keep your nipple moment.
The nipples will be in there and everything.
Oh, the nipples will be in there.
It'll be a nipple full episode on YouTube, even if the audio one won't be. But in the meantime, while Sarah and I are, we're not going to be on hiatus until the end. We're just not going to do another episode. So we'll still be available on our Instagram, which is @datingkindasucks. And of course, in the Facebook group. And then Sarah and I each have our own separate Instagrams. And then, of course, you can also find Sarah on her Millennial Toes.
Oh, we're going to throw that one in.
We are going to throw that in. We're trying to get this new podcast. We want it to get the audience deserves. So check that out and visit her on or OnlyFans. Where else can people find us?
You can also subscribe and be a patron on patreon.com/DKS podcast. We're posting episodes. We do
maybe we'll do a bonus episode before Christmas or something. Maybe they'll get an extra episode. So
yeah, we'll do many things on there for our subscribers on there for as little as $5 a month. So yeah, you can check us out on there as well. Another way to support DKS podcast.
Absolutely. And it's also, by the way, not too late to buy stickers. Buy a sticker pack if you want one, either for Christmas or for somebody you like. We've got our garbage human beings and all those stickers that everybody loves, and that's at datingkindasucks.com/shop. You can go there. And other than that, I think that we're wrapping it up for the year.
We're tired and ready to get refreshed.
Yeah, I know. Basically, this will be just it's going to be a Dating Kinda Sucks detox too, which which will be nice.
Take a vacation, everyone.
Yeah, exactly. Take a break for the next 3 weeks, and then be back in 2021 if there's not an apocalypse or a nuclear war, or who the fuck knows what's going to happen.
Yeah, we'll all wait and find out about that.
Yes, we will. But with that, thank you for listening, and we'll be back in 2021 with a brand new episode.
Until next time.
Whether you're married or single or poly or ace, or hanging out with swingers back at your place, listen to us as we get no luck on Tinder and Bumble and plenty of yucks, trying and having no luck, because we all know dating kinda sucks. Sarah and Adam are two of a kind. He says stupid shit and she doesn't mind. They're not doing this show to make any buck. Life as a chicken whose feathers he plucks. Why does it work? Well, here is the crux. They both know dating kinda sucks. Dating kinda sucks.